Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're going to talk about the Babylock Triumph. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set it up for 4-thread overlock. Another name for an overlock machine is a serger. So it's basically those two terms are interchangeable. Now here we have a 4-thread overlock. That's what it looks like, and that's what we're going to set this up for. So to start out with, I already have it threaded up, so I'm going to unthread it. I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's start out by putting the presser foot up. What that does is it takes the tension off of all the tension discs right in there. So I'm going to cut my threads here and here. I could have also cut them up there, that worked too. And then just pull this out like that. Actually, I probably should have cut those up there. That's fine. As long as you have lifted up your presser foot, all you need to do is cut the threads and pull the thread tail out. It's very easy to do that. Okay, to start out with, when you put your threads, and I've got 4 different colors here for the purpose of teaching, but when you put your threads on here, make sure that you have the correct labels that you're putting on. So for overlock, there are 4 of them. Overlock needle 1, overlock needle 2, upper looper and lower looper. That's what you want to have, is that way. Another thing that will help you is to look at your quick reference threading guide. Here we go, 6 thread. Actually, there's 6 pages here. So the quick reference threading guide right here, 4-thread overlock. That's going to help you. I'm going to show you how to do it, but this is going to help you. Think of these as like recipe cards here. Okay, so we put our threads here, put them up into the thread tree where it has, like this is overlock 1, so O1 is going to be right there. O2, upper looper, lower looper. Those are all labeled. And then, again, make sure that your presser foot is up. Click it down into here. There is a little thread guide back here that you need to click your thread into. Let me go like this, like that, and just kind of let that hang right there. Those are, by the way, the 2 needle threads. We've got this little knot here. Get that undone. There we go. Okay, put that down right down there. And by the way, this thread guide that I'm clicking it into is right in front of the handle. So if you can find the handle, that's where the thread guide is. It's right next to it. So put these down in here like that. Now, notice I have this open because we're going to need to put it into threading. See, here it says serging, here it says threading. I'm going to open this here so you can see what's going on. When I put this down into threading, right over here, those tubes start to come out. Now I'm going to turn my hand wheel in the direction of the arrow until those tubes meet up right there. Now there's a continuous path from the ends of the loopers to the threading ports. And also, notice you cannot move the hand wheel at that point. So I'm going to get the needle threads just off to the side and out of the way. Now, you will see that with the threading ports, it says do not oil. That also means don't lick the ends of your threads and put them down there. We want everything dry because this works kind of like a vacuum cleaner. It works with air. Now, I like having my threads long enough when I snip them so that they're not fuzzy at the end, about to the end of the cover. It's about how far I like to have that. And I also like to start with the left-hand one, the upper looper, because if I start with the right-hand one, sometimes I forget and put it in the cover stitch looper, and we're not doing cover stitch, we're doing overlock. Okay, take the end of our thread, put it down in there, get it down there probably 1/4 of an inch, and see how I've got a little bit of a bend in the thread. And I'm going to tap that down there, and then push the button. I'm holding this lightly, push that button, and you can see how it grabbed onto the thread. Now, it hasn't gotten through that upper looper yet, but that's okay. We've just got it started. We're going to take the lower looper, do the same thing, put the thread into the port, give it a little tap on that bend, and there we've got both of them. Now, make sure that they're behind these. These thread guides do help keep things orderly. I'm going to take a little bit more slack in the thread. There we go. We've almost got that through there. A little bit more. And there we go. Now, if you look at the ends of both of the loopers, you can see the thread starting to come out right here. I can grab that one, the lower looper, it does help to have your tweezers. Now, this thread, you can just leave it hanging down inside the machine about 4 inches like that, 3 or 4 inches is enough. Because as it starts stitching, as you start doing your serging, it will pick up that thread. So you don't have to worry about that thread, just leave that right down there. Now it's time to do the needles. So I've got 2 different colors of thread, which is going to help, but once you have like all the same color of thread, you're going to need to remember which is left and which is right, because this one is going to go in the left-hand needle, this one's going to go in the right-hand needle, and you don't want them twisted. Okay, so into this thread guide, under that little hook, over the top of this, and by the way, this is where your take-up lever, kind of like your sewing machine has a take-up lever, that's where it is there. It doesn't move quite as much as a regular sewing machine. And then we have a needle bar guide right here. So we're going to go under the front and over the back so that it's in front of the front hook and behind the back hook right there. So that one, I'm going to just leave that off to the left. This one here, put that there, over the top like this. And then the same way, in front of the front hook and behind the back. I'm going to take my upper looper thread and just put that back behind things under the foot, just to get it out of the way. Now these 2 threads, we also need to trim them so that they're nice and sharp, and that's especially important because we're going to be threading needles, and you know whenever you thread a needle, you need to have no fuzz on the end of that needle, end of the thread. And then also I'm lowering my presser foot to give myself a little more room to work. I've actually threaded my serger with the presser foot up, but I'm just showing you for education purposes to kind of get things out of the way. Then this lever over here, push this down. Now, it has actually 5 threading ports. If we had the cover stitch needles in, that's what these are for. The ones back here are for your serger needles, okay? And this switch will determine which of those 2 areas are going to pull the thread through. So we want to have it on overlock because that's what we're doing. Okay, so I trimmed these so that they are about even with the front cover, maybe a little bit longer, nice and short. Then I'm going to put the thread right up to the eye of the needle, but not poke it through. Just put it up to the eye of the needle. And this little button, push this little button. Okay, now you can see it grabbed onto it, but it kind of got around the foot a little bit. Okay, so I pushed this to turn it on. I pushed it, turned it off. There is a way, and your book's going to explain it. If you look, you can see there's a way to actually set this so that you push it, and then when you let it go, it will turn off. There's another setting that it'll stay on for 3 seconds and then turn off by itself. My serger that I have at home, I have it set so that as long as I'm pushing it, it's the motor's going, and then when I let it up, it stops. But that's just a sort of a personal preference. Now also notice when you've got your presser foot down, you can't pull out more thread. If I wanted to pull more thread off there, I'd put up my presser foot. Okay, and that gave me a little more thread to work with. Okay, so again, I put the thread up to the eye of the needle. Up to the eye of the needle. Give it a little slack, don't hold it too tightly. Then I push this. Okay, it started pulling it through. Get it out from around there. Now, it's just sitting there. It's probably into the little threading tube, maybe a 1/4 inch or so. Just a little bit more. There we go. That's probably enough. It's taken up enough slack, so now when I lift up this lever, my needles are threaded. This did take me a little bit of practice to get this way because I was used to threading with a different tool. But once I got this is all I need to do. I don't need to get out any other tools. Now, at this point, I'm going to put my thread underneath the foot just like that, and that part is all ready to go for serging. However, we're not done yet because closing the doors, can't close that door. Why is that? It's because you're still in threading. So now we're out of threading and into serging, and you can see those tubes are now disconnected. The wheel will move. We can close this up and we're ready to go. At this point, you can just start serging. Just put your fabric under there, or just if you want to form a thread tail, you can do that. And you can see how it picked up that lower looper thread. And by the way, I always like to try and stop with my needles up. It just seems to be better for the machine. You can cut the extra thread that way. And that is threading for your 4-thread overlock. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos on this machine and on other machines here on our Montavilla YouTube channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.